Nicole Ben Simon here from Melbourne, Australia, wanting to talk to you today about how we bring people into our lives that are actually mirroring to us what it is that we need to work on ourselves. And this is like a really important process in the journey of self-awareness and self-awakening, because often it's the things that trigger us the most and that annoy us the most about others. They are the things that we are not willing to look at in ourselves, because the fact that they do trigger us and the fact that they do bother us means that there is some aspect of that in ourselves that we need to work on, and it's called our shadow parts. Obviously, shadow, they're the parts that we don't like to really dig into, because they're the things that we believe we don't want to believe we have them inside of us, but we actually do. And the thing is, when we invite a person into our lives, when we meet people, when we come across people, and they push us in a way that frustrates us. So you could be triggered by somebody who is dishonest, and this may be something that you may want to look at within yourself, and perhaps find out or ask yourself when you're in a quiet space, what is it about myself that I'm being dishonest about? So because often the universe brings to you, to your attention, the things that you need to address within yourself if you want to grow to the next level of self-awareness. So for example, it could be that somebody that you are connecting with is not being forgiving, and that may frustrate you because you believe that people should forgive, but the thing is, the reason that it is upsetting you is perhaps that you are not forgiving yourself, perhaps for something you may have done in the past. So really, when you look at the things that mirror how you can see and I guess heal the parts of yourself that usually you would find it frustrating, because the thing is that it's when we're on our spiritual path, we like to think that we are carrying all the positive aspects, the light-filled aspects, that we're kind and we're loving and we're caring. But the thing is, we need to own the full self of it. We need to own the whole, ourselves holistically, and not just own the things that we perceive as good, because we have both aspects of ourself that we need to address and we need to accept. So a really amazing exercise, which I actually did today, was to list, obviously to be in a quiet, relaxed space where you're not being interrupted, and just to sit with yourself, do some really good breath work. Take some nice deep breaths and really step into your heart, because this is honest work. This is truthful work. This is not just surface stuff. This is like going deep within yourself and asking yourself, and this is what I just did today, and a lot of wonderful things have come up for me to work on. So I listed 5 things about someone else that I find inspirational, and I find that they are so incredible that I don't believe I have those aspects within me. So an example of that, and to list 5 of them. So an example of that may be my best friend. She is very open and honest about speaking her truth, and she's not worried about being accepted by other people, because she's very very committed to speaking her truth and to especially to let's say being the one that supports the underdog, for example. Like, if somebody's suffering, she will stand up and she will support the person who doesn't have a voice. So I find that very very inspiring, and perhaps I don't feel that I'm able to do that. So that's an example of one of the 5 that could be one of your 5 examples of where you look at somebody else that you admire and you believe you don't have those skills. So so you list 5 of those, and then you list 5 skills 5 things that you find are not good, for example. So that you see in somebody else. So, for example, you could see somebody as being very, very stubborn. So you could say, one of the 5 things that I don't like about someone else is that they are stubborn and they are unable to forgive. And then, so list 5 things that really irritate you and really trigger you about somebody else and what they do. And then you've got your list of the 5 things that you admire. And then you've got your list of 5 things that basically irritate you. So you've got your the 2, the light and the dark. And so with the first list, with the things that you admire, you can turn it around by setting affirmations, with reading what it is that you've written and saying, I have this, I am able to do this. And so then you are basically affirming to yourself and allowing yourself to see that you are able to perhaps start in this beautiful direction where you can start to do things that you think that only other people can do and you can't. For example, my friend is great at technology and I really admire that about her. So then you say, I am growing in my knowledge about technology, for example. And with a list of the 5 things that irritate you about somebody, so one of them could be, my friend is not able to forgive me. So as an antidote to that, you can list affirmations that that you turn it around, that you can say, I am always learning forgiveness and practicing forgiveness. So that way, if it's something that's irritating you about someone else, it's actually irritating you about yourself subconsciously. And so therefore you are addressing it, and then you are shifting it so that you are aware of it and you are able to the awareness is the beginning, and you can work on it from there. So this is a great way to really in spiritual terms, it's called mirroring. So it's a great way to really be able to see that what presents itself to you through another person, through a situation, or through an environment, is there to show you something about yourself. If you are willing to look at it realistically and to deeply and very, what's the word I'm trying to find? Authentically, yeah? To look at what is presenting itself to you authentically, without, brushing it off and looking on the surface. It's actually really, really looking at the features of the things that make you feel that you feel are wonderful, that you think you don't have, and then the things that trigger you, that irritate and upset you, that you think, oh, I'm not like that, I'm not unforgiving, because it's coming up for you because perhaps there's something you need to address in yourself. So obviously we never like to see the dark sides of ourselves. We never like to believe that we are carrying shadow aspects of ourselves, but we actually are, and the only way really to release them is to firstly recognize them. And it's like having no attachment, having no judgment. It's just, this is how it is. I'm aware of it, and I am now able to work through it and to accept that this is where I am. So I just, it really helped me today, because quite a few breakthroughs happened for me today. And so I guess, it's just, we've all, well, in Melbourne, Australia, we're in lockdown at the moment. So many people have time, many people are at home and not working. So that's just a little exercise that you can do to really get down and get true with yourself and see what comes up. Because once you address what it is that needs to be shifted, you won't have those experiences repeating themselves again and again, and those people coming into your life that are actually triggering you again and again about the same thing, because once you've cleared them, there's no need for them to come back into your life. So see how you go with that. It really helped me today, so I thought I would share that with you. And have a great afternoon.